life. Hey!
We're gonna do the sound demo of the Atlantis guitar, which is my Crimson guitar build I did for the Guitars for Vets charity. Now again, before we get started, I just wanna remind you, if you'd like to donate to Guitars for Vets, there's a link down below, and you can donate $1, you can donate $5, and the great thing is for every $200 that they get, they buy a guitar and lessons for a veteran with PTSD. And so I love it if you guys would consider it. Now there's some questions I saw on the last video, and I thought we could answer them in this video and then do the sound samples as well. But before we get the sound samples, let me answer two of the biggest questions that I got in the last video. The first is the binding. There was some confusion on the binding. And the binding, of course, no one was confused about the gold leaf. It's a gold leaf pinstripe binding on the top of the guitar, not the side, and then a gold leaf pinstripe on the side of the guitars. And that sandwiches in the maple. A lot of people thought because it's so bright, it's like not white, but it's a very, very light tan, that it was maybe some kind of plastic binding. Here's what it is. Last year, around this time, I was in Germany and I went to the Framus facility, and Framus let me build a guitar in the factory and have that experience. And when I was there with Marcus, who runs the factory, he was showing me this cool bass guitar that was a yin-yang sign. And I said, what woods are that? And he was like, maple. I said, do you paint the maple? How do you get it so bright? He goes, well, we bleach it. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. So essentially what I did on this guitar was I had bleached the top, and that's as simple as you just put a little bleach on a rag and you rub it into the wood and you wait 24 hours and it gets really, really light colored. So Joe at Paint Huffer, before he shot the flake and the candy, he went ahead and painted a clear coat over this maple binding so that it would kind of like stay pristine. So it's gonna stay this light color forever. It's never gonna get dark like wood normally does. So that's just something cool. The other thing that I got a lot of questions about was the conductive shielding paint I used for the pickup cavities and the rear cavity. Where did I get that and what is it? It's just conductive paint or shielding paint that I bought at StewMac. And the one I have, I bought about 4 or 5 years ago, so it lasts a long time. I'll put a link down below to that. You can probably get it other places in smaller quantities, but like I said, if you buy this, just keep in mind, it's gonna be something you're gonna be using for the next 5 or 10 years. It lasts a long time. So let's talk about this guitar. So let's go over the features. We talked about the specifications, but the features. It has an ebony fretboard. It has an inlay that Crimson Guitars did on the 12th fret. They asked some of the contestants if they wanted an inlay of their logo. I said yes, and they put that there. It has a graphite nut, not a Graphtec. I like Graphtec, but I used a blank graphite nut. I put Schaller locking strap locks on it. Another thing worth noting is we soften the edges on the guitar. Usually PRS style guitars have a very hard edge, and we went ahead and not only softened them, but softened them extremely where the arm carve is so that they're more comfortable. It has the Vega trim. Now the Vega trim, something is important is I love the way the Tremolo, the Vega Tremolo feels. And I love the way it looks, but I didn't want it to float. So this one is permanently blocked, so it will only go forward. So what's great is if you don't want a tremolo, you just take the trim arm off and it'll work just like a hardtail. It'll stay in place. The pickups here are my pickups. I wound them. They're called Blackstock. I named them after my grandmother's maiden name, and that's the name of the pickups. When I make pickups, I call them Blackstocks, so that'd be cool. These pickups, I made 8 prototypes. Now, actually 6 pickups, but I took apart and rewound 2 of them, and so this is the prototypes that made it. Now, when I say prototypes, I was looking for different versions, but really what I was trying to was match them perfectly. So these are the 2 matched perfectly that I thought I liked the most. So that's why they're in there. And then of course we have a volume with a push-pull, and this is probably about the time we should probably do some sound samples. We're gonna start on the bridge pickup. I got my twin sister, Dirty Shirley, sitting right here. I got it at pretty much the most gain, about 80–90% of the way. Let's go ahead and hear the bridge pickup. switch to the neck pickup. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the coil split. I'm going to back the gain off on the amp a little bit. Go ahead and change some things. Now we're listening to that treble bleed, so I'm backing it up. Now if you want the amp to clean up even more, run the tone control halfway back. This is what I'm talking about, matching the pickups. Here's the humbucker bridge. Neck. But in the middle, it's just the sweetness. You get the warmth of the neck, but the bite of the bridge. Clean the amp up. Go to the neck. All right, so that's all the pickups and the controls, as you can see, and I really want to say thank you to Crimson Guitars for doing this project for everybody. This is really cool. It was a great way to raise some money for charities. It was a great way to keep a lot of people busy. All the unofficial entries have been really cool. Just seeing how much fun you guys are having has been really cool to watch, and hopefully I'll do a video where I get to review all those and just kind of check them out and see what I think. But I also want to thank all the other entries in this build-off challenge, because their charities were definitely worthwhile. They were very cool, and I have to admit, some of them just blew me away in every way. And to be able to be part of this and have some fun and make something that now is going to charity, you can purchase this guitar and help raise money for charity. Currently, right now, the guitar is at $7,000, which is an amazing amount of money that is going to charity. So if you're in that kind of league where you can do those kind of bids, have at it. I really want to thank you. I cannot believe the outpour of support for the charity and for this build off and everything in between. It's been really cool. Like I said, I'm almost tongue-tied half the time I'm talking about this stuff because it's so cool. And I want to thank you again for that. I definitely want to thank Joe and Brian and everyone at Paint Huffer for coming up with this crazy candy finish, this candy metallic finish, and it's really been cool. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's any questions or comments you have, you can put them down below. I'd love to see. Maybe I can answer them in the next video. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Till the next time, know your gear. I'm gonna have the guys introduce themselves. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Joe.
What do you do?
I'm Joe. I'm painter here at Paint Huffer.
I'm Brian. I'm the owner of Paint Huffer. I hung up tattooing probably about 4 years ago, just to focus on Paint Huffer full time. You know, once we've been in business now for 13 years with Paint Huffer, and I was painting all the time. And I walked into my local jobber. A jobber is a paint shop. So in the industry, jobbers, that's what they call that. But I was painting choppers and helmets at first, just to practice.
Right.
And all of a sudden I was getting these calls. I put some stuff on Instagram, and some of these, I grew up skating in Southern California. I grew up surfing, but a lot of these old pro skaters that I grew up, having their posters on my bedroom wall were hitting me up, and they're saying, "Hey, can you do a helmet for me, or can you do a tank for me?" And I'm like, "Oh man, of course. Are you kidding me?"
Right.
So I do one chopper, and then it was like another, and I kept going in the paint shops all the time, the jobbers, and they were like, "Man, are you either like huff and paint, or are you here to shoplift? Like, you're in here every hour just buying all these materials." So the Paint Huffer name stuck.